So I want to talk about the final aspect of managing these client relationships, and what it is influencing experiences. And what's interesting about that, the word that comes to mind when I teach this is neutralization. And what I mean by that is, how do you neutralize toxic behavior? How do you neutralize concerns? How do you assuage people's fears? So when these obstacles and issues come up, and they always do, what happens in many cases is you feel insecure, it's a setback, and it could really dominate your thought process at that point. So part of really influencing those experiences is proactively anticipating what's going to come up and when. And one of the tricky things about closing in sales is a lot of organizations, if they have a training manual or some kind of sales training, you'll see in the handbook, it'll be like a step-by-step process. First, we build rapport. Then we overcome objections. Then we close. And there's all these steps laid out by that. And I always chuckle when I see that, because building rapport is not the first step. You're supposed to be always doing it. Closing, you should always be closing throughout by asking questions and giving impactful responses. So it's a list of, here's all the things that make up a client relationship, not necessarily in a specific order or step. Sometimes people, because of time requirements or expectations, you might not have time to build rapport in the beginning. What I see a lot of salespeople do is, if they don't have an opportunity to build rapport in the beginning because they'll feel rushed, then build rapport later in the call. But you still got to do it. So I think when it comes to closing, there should be no final stage of closing. By the time you get to the end of the sales process, you should have made sure you covered everything you need. Because one of the best compliments you could get managing a relationship with a salesperson is that the prospect comes back to you and says, geez, I have no more questions. You've answered everything else you need. Then you closed.